Hey everyone, it's Miss Malia and I am broadcasting from the school garden. This year, I sent out a survey to CAS students asking you what crops do you want planted in the school garden? And guess what? We got 48 responses from students. We got those responses from the survey we sent out, from comments on Facebook, and some from teachers emailing in what you had said to them. So we're really excited to share the data with you today. One really awesome way to share data is through graphing. Graphing can help take lots of big numbers and help make some sense of them, make them easier to understand, and really beautiful and fun to look at. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a graph using the data we got from all of you guys. So we're going to turn all the numbers from you into a beautiful graph so we can see what were the top crops that you all wanted in the CAS school garden. First, let's take a look at the results. The numbers over the picture of the crop show you how many students voted for it out of 48 student responses. There were a lot of vegetables, fruits, flowers, and herbs that got a lot of votes but didn't quite make this list, and don't worry, we will definitely still plant those because they are awesome. Let's start the graph. For the graph, you will need graph paper, a pencil, colored pencils, and your data. So this graph needs a title. I'm going to call it the top plant choices of CAS kids. Now, along the y-axis, I'm going to count up in increments of 2. I know the lowest number I need to graph today is only, it's 16. So, because that's the lowest number in my data. So I'm just going to start at 10. So instead of starting at 0, I'll start at 10. And I'll count in increments of 2. So 10, 12, 14, 16, are you counting by 2s along with me? 30, 32, 34, 36. How'd I do? Let's double check. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. All right, and that's good because the highest number I need to record is watermelon with 34 student votes. So our graph goes up to 36, so that's good. I'll be able to fit the lowest data, 16, and the highest number of votes, watermelon with 34. Now along the x-axis, that's when you get to start using the colors. So for watermelon with 34 votes, I'm going to do a bar graph today, so I'm going to fill all of this space with color right up to the 34. So I'll give a little line that's going to remind me to not color above 34 today. So you could color this all in with one color, or you could draw watermelons all up the bar graph. And I think to start, I will just write watermelon at the bottom just to be extra clear. You could also make a key, but I'll write watermelon at the bottom, and then I'm going to draw watermelons all up and down this bar graph. Awesome. So now on this beautiful graph, you can see that 34 people voted for watermelon. Now let's go to the second most popular, bachelor buttons. That's a beautiful blue flower that bees and butterflies really love. 31 people wanted bachelor buttons. So where do you think we should go? How high should we go? Let's see, we could go up to 30, and then we could go halfway between 30 and 32 for 31. So for bachelor buttons, I'm gonna go halfway in between. There is 31 votes. And like I did here, I'm gonna draw bachelor buttons up and down. And now you can see that a couple more people, 3 people to be exact, 3 more people liked watermelon than bachelor button. And this graph can help you to see that difference between those numbers in a visual way. I even added some little bumblebees because bachelor buttons is a really popular flower among bumblebees and other pollinators. Our next one, strawberries with 30 votes. Let's find 30. Right there. And cucumbers with 30 votes. Let's find 30 on this. Oh look, it's the same as strawberries. And here is my finished graph. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that you do need to explain what these numbers mean. So number of student votes is what I wrote here because that's what these numbers represent. For example, cucumbers got 30 student votes. But if I didn't have that, you wouldn't know what these numbers meant necessarily. So that's why it's important to label the y-axis with that, number of student votes. Now, I'm showing you just one way you can graph out this data, but I would love to see what other creative or organized or interesting ways you all can take the same data and graph it. And when you, I would love it if you wanted to email me a picture of your finished graph, and I will share that on the CAS Facebook page so that our CAS community can see what crops you all want planted and see the results of the survey that a lot of you participated in. You can use the data however you want. You could try to graph all 20 or 25 of the top choices. You could graph just vegetables. You could graph just the flowers. It's really up to you. Just make sure your title describes the data. Make sure that when we read your title, we know that it's just the top flowers or just the top vegetables. All right, can't wait to see what you come up with.